We do one of those weird OnlyFans thing where people watch you sleep. Are
If
we
people
on?
if people are watching me sleep, that is a weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric OnlyFan.
It would be my only fan watching me sleep.
No, you would be your only fan. Eric's OnlyFan.
Howdy, traders. We're back. It's episode 11. Everything's
Really?
like nobody died.
11?
11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They rack up. We've been doing this for a couple months. I didn't think of that. It's been almost 3 months.
It has.
Wow. Nice.
And we have 11 total views, right? One for every week.
One for every week.
You got to watch it twice. Then we'll have 22. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so I'm a little bit. My mindset is a little more positive today.
Good.
It's been a drag in the last few weeks.
Yeah, me too. I'm better.
I actually had. So you haven't been over the house yet. Mm-mm. You've never been over my house.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Not that you know. Not when you're home. No.
But
when you're sleeping, that OnlyFans thing.
I do. The cameraman.
Yeah.
But when I have customers come over to pick up books that have been pressed or to drop books off, I often will sit down at the dining room table and fill out their submission forms and do all that. And the last couple of days have been really good. Matt came over and picked up his books, and we had a nice long conversation about CGC and grading and all that.
Haven't seen Matt for a bit.
Yeah.
He's been scarce.
Probably since he did the show with us a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's scarce. He has a low print run. I don't know where he went.
But that just makes him more valuable in our eyes.
Well, I don't know.
Matt, you're more valuable in our eyes.
Hi, Matt. I don't know if he can get more valuable. He's the Matt.
So, yeah, I had a really good conversation with him. And then today, Shane, I won't use his last name because I don't know if he would like to get blasted like that, but he's one of your regulars. He came over, and just a unique, like, he's coming into the hobby from a completely different mindset. He's only been back into it for about 2 years, and he's really doing it for the love of the books. And that kind of helped.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
that kind of helped adjust my mindset a bit because we were talking about.
Yeah, Shane Davis. He has a warrant out. That's why. No, no, it's not. That's not him. Sorry.
But if you are Shane Davis, run.
Because we just outed you with your warrant. No, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
But yeah, it was just a great conversation because he was, I did like 8 books for him, and we're talking. And when I talked to him originally, his plan was to get him slabbed. And he came and picked them up today, and we're going through them, and out of the 8, there's one. He's like, maybe I'll just do this one because I really don't care about having somebody else grade them because they're in my personal collection. I just want them to look better, And having a conversation with somebody that has that mindset, that's into it because they love the books and love the characters, was really kind of refreshing, to be honest.
Yeah, I've kind of had that too. I've had for some reason a lot of kids coming in the last couple of days, and very excited people.
Right.
Instead of, what's this gonna be worth, man? I get people to come in and they're like, what's gonna be worth money? What can I invest in? I'm like, a savings account, because that's the only guaranteed investment you're ever gonna get.
Right.
No matter what you're investing in. Crypto. Try crypto. See how that. Yeah, but I always say it's like I don't know, and if I knew it was going to be worth money, I'd own the building, not the shop.
Right.
And that's how that goes, man. My psychic abilities are very, very dusty. They're not good. But yeah, it has been more of a positive week, I think.
I think so.
Personally, there's been some challenges, but professionally, there's been more positive things, I believe. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of reflected in a lot of the stuff I've been reading. I've really enjoyed 8 Billion Genies.
Oh, God, isn't that great?
Such a great book. Like, there's been some good books out the past couple of weeks, and Previous to that, I've been like not really wanting to read anything because I've been so down because of
Yeah.
business and the whole financial aspect of it. So
I've been, I mean, man, I've been there too. And I've been watching a lot of movies, a lot of TV, just, drinking alone under the bed, things like that. Nothing unhealthy. It's totally fine.
well, as long as it's your bed,
Right. Well, technically it is now.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we live right now?
Well, not live. We're recording.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I can't.
Yeah, it has. It has, and it's it's funny when I was when I opened up, it was like Then it got huge, like after a year or two, and then it just died. Nobody, people just quit. There were manga shops, like specific manga shops around Salt Lake. I think there were 2 of them, and they're all gone. And you can find some at comic shops, but people have kind of stopped carrying a lot of it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I think it may be a combination. There's a lot of Netflix manga series now. They're picking a lot of stuff up and doing
anime stuff.
And or anime, and also Barnes and Noble has like really expanded their selection. We are looking for a sponsor at Barnes and Noble.
Sponsor the smaller bookstore just down the street from you.
Do it. Yeah, but they they've expanded their selection a lot, and I think it's more readily available. The only problem with like a small store is they're so like just I don't know. It's like one day this is hot, next day the other thing is hot, and so by the time we can get them in from Diamond or Random House or whatever, which is usually a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, depending on what it is, then they've got a new series out that's super cool, and then nobody wants the one that we just ordered. I was like, oh god. So that's a little annoying.
I mean, your selection of manga is, I'm assuming, from the size of it, pretty impressive. I mean, I don't see that anywhere outside of like a Barnes and Noble or.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the only. I mean, the other guys have a modest selection, about half of what you do. Mm-hmm. But
well, and it's funny. I mean, I feel like I've got quite a few. Like quite a bit there, and then people will come in and they're like, "Is this all you got?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Or people come in and go, "Oh my gosh, you got so much." I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
Well, you walk into a Barnes and Noble, and I mean, as impressive as that wall is, I mean, they're four times.
The Barnes and Noble looks like my bookshelves almost.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. And it's, I mean, but that's with everything. I mean, I have people that come in and go, "Oh my God, you got more comics than I've ever seen before in my entire life." And then I literally have people that come in and go, "Oh, you don't have much out here." I'm like, okay. Sorry, I only have a couple 100,000 books in my inventory. Sorry about that.
I have been to stores. I have been to stores that probably have more. I mean, this is nothing compared to Mile High.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean,
that's literally a warehouse.
Yeah, it's insane. Mm-hmm. But compared to any other, like, just small single shop, single owner shop, this is the most I've ever seen in one place.
And we just continue, and that like you were saying, the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
That stuff like this just pulled this out of that collection, which is
so cool.
Yeah, the Batman, he's going to be big.
I think there's a future with that Batman dude.
Yeah, man. And look at that, God Loves Man Kills. Huh. Love that book. So good.
I heard that's really good. I haven't read it.
It is actually really good. I did a college paper on that. Yes, I went to college.
This is cool.
These are neat. Oh, these Tomb of Draculas. Ooh, fan them out, Vanna. There we go. Yeah, and just a bunch of cool stuff like that. It's Witchblade signed. Older Wonder Woman. Like a ton of these Spider-Man 700s. Wow. Like just and this is just stuff I'm finding in boxes. You know, there's and we found a couple of that's from somebody else, but the Infinity Gauntlet one, I got 2 of those signed by George Perez.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we had
Very cool.
had 2 X-Men ones signed by Jim Lee with certificate and stuff, but they're not surprisingly gone. I'm kind of shocked that those went before the Infinity Gauntlets. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I don't know. That's an aggressive grasp right there.
I can be aggressive if I need to. I can be aggressive if I need 3. I'm pretty flexible.
Moving on. This is not water, friends.
So, you have not been watching Miss Marvel, right? You haven't seen any of those.
No, I haven't yet.
I think you're going to like it a lot more than what you think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
I know you didn't care a lot for the Moon Knight thing, and I really love that one, but
yeah,
I think you have a better grip, a better grasp on those characters than kind of your average layman that didn't read the comics. So I think you'll get more enjoyment out of it.
I might. And I've really heard good things.
It's a great show. I mean, I didn't care for it a lot. I was like in the mindset of it's just not for me when I first watched it. But then I did some research into the character a little bit and kind of why that character even exists in the first place.
Yeah.
And with that kind of appreciation going into it, I got a different appreciation for the show, and I just sit back and enjoyed it. And, actually picked up a couple things from it that were really cool, like the cultural stuff that I didn't know was real interesting. And
cool.
So that one's been pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that. We gotta finish Planet Terror tonight, and my daughter fell asleep during it. I don't know how you fall asleep during that, but whatever. What We Do in the Shadows is back on.
I haven't seen any of it. I watched kind of a little bit of the first episode, and I was like, this is just too much. I gotta wait till I've got like 2 or 3 seasons to binge on this show. So
have you seen the movie?
I'm super looking forward to it now.
Okay, you don't have to watch the movie first, but if you do watch the movie first, you'll appreciate a lot more things that are in the TV series.
Definitely gotta do that. It's definitely one that's a must watch for me.
So good. It is so good. There's some cameos that show up that will
really
very much surprise you.
I mean, I'm not. I don't think I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan. But
unplug that again. We're done.
But and it's really weird because I used to say the same thing about Nicolas Cage, and it's all because of Raising Arizona. I hate that movie.
That's one of my favorite movies ever.
And I've only seen it once, and for some reason I did not like that movie. And I was like, I hate Nicolas Cage because of that movie, because that movie is so bad. We used to do a movie night at the house where all the friends would come over once a month, and a different person would pick a movie. And I had to make the rule that nobody could pick Raising Arizona. That was the one movie that's off limits. And I just hated Nicolas Cage. And then I of course watched National Treasure. Fantastic movie. And then Gone in 60 Seconds. Another fantastic movie.
That was such a dumb movie, but it was fun.
Ghost Rider. I love Ghost Rider.
See, that's the thing, is his movies are really stupid, but they're really fun.
Yeah. So I actually learned that I didn't like Raising Arizona, but I love Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if I like Taika Waititi or not. I liked Ragnarok. I really liked Ragnarok.
Okay.
But I'm not the hugest fan of Love and Thunder.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. It's a solid 7.5.
Or CGC 7.1.
Yeah.
Sorry. There we go again. No, I haven't seen it yet, because if I go see it, my wife's out of town still, and if I go see it without her, I will get a hammer in the side of the head. Oh my God. Yeah, we're done. That and Only Murders in the Building we're just holding on right now.
I haven't seen that either.
God, it's so funny. It's so good.
That's another one I gotta see.
So good.
I mean, just Steve Martin.
Anyway.
So you're a big horror movie guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like that, horror movies weren't really ever my thing. I'm more into sci-fi and that type of stuff.
I like sci-fi if it's sci-fi horror.
If
there's monsters eating people, I'm cool with that.
I mean, and as I've gotten older, I appreciate some of the horror stuff that I like. When I watch a horror movie, I like The Changeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's a great movie.
Rosemary's Baby, that type of stuff. The Exorcist, more intellectual.
You like smarter slow burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the slasher stuff, outside of absolutely everything Rob Zombie does, slasher stuff doesn't really work for me. Yes, I love Rob Zombie.
That's my Rob Zombie. Okay. Well, we've talked about that before, and some is good, some is not, most certainly. But I still thought his Lords of Salem was good.
Yeah, I still have to see that one.
And you're such a Rob Zombie fan, and you like that 70s, culty horror, slow burn stuff, you're gonna love that movie. I mean, it's very Rosemary's Baby reminiscent. I mean, it's kind of got that feel to it, and I feel like that's sort of his homage to the slow burns of the 70s and 80s.
Kind of that Hammer horror.
Yeah. Ty West, you like him too. Look at his stuff. He did one called Sacrament that was based on a Jim Jones character. And he actually got Vice Media to give their okay to use them as characters. So it's like a Vice documentary, and they say, yes, this is Vice Media, we're doing this, blah blah blah, and then they go into this compound. Yeah, it's really good.
Wow.
Really good.
That sounds cool.
House of the Devil is definitely one you'd love. Like I'll give you a list, man. I'll give you a list. There's a lot of great stuff, and then I like garbage.
That's what we should do. So we used to do this movie night thing, like I mentioned, and it was me and my wife and our sister and her husband and another couple, and my brother-in-law, like his taste in movies, like he had us watching Toxic Avengers 3 because apparently 3 is the best of all the Toxic movies. And
one is the best.
There's a reason,
if there can be a best.
There's a reason why 3 is the best, and I think it was 3, might have been 2. I don't know.
Is it the one when they go to Japan?
No,
because that's a shit show.
No,
that's terrible.
So, and I'd never watched Toxic Avengers until we did all this. So he had us watching that, and then he had us watching, what's the name of that movie? The one with the vine in it.
Oh, Pink Flamingos?
Pink Flamingos.
What the hell's wrong with them?
I had never seen Pink Flamingos.
You'd be better off if you never did.
I would never have seen Pink Flamingos.
You'd be better off if you never did.
Like,
I love John Waters, but
that
good God, man,
is incredible.
Oh man. So no, the Toxic Avenger. I mean, the first one is the only, if you want to say good, if you can say good. And you know what? It's not good. They're all terrible, but the first one's the best one. It actually.
I mean, there's some good in that genre. There's some just real fun, horrible movies.
Yes.
Horrible.
Well, and speaking of movies, this here is going to Amazon.
I heard.
8 Billion Genies.
I think it's a really interesting concept.
It's a great
concept.
Can do
like just a very Orphan Black type feel to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is what it is.
You do whatever you want.
Speaking of Orphan Black, what are your thoughts on She-Hulk coming up? A little concerned?
I'm very concerned about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not concerned at all for that one.
Man, I don't know. I've got a lot of concerns about that. Titania looks really weird. The CGI looks really weird. It looks I know it's not, man, but it looks low budget.
And I've heard that criticism a lot based on obviously the trailers. But my mindset with that is we thought the same thing with Sonic when those trailers first hit,
Ugly Sonic, yeah.
and then they had time to kind of clean it up before the premiere.
Well,
And some of the stuff that we're seeing come out now with
Mhm.
the CGI, the green skin and whatnot, is looking a lot better. It's looking a lot
well,
more
and see,
polished.
that's one of my main bitches about movies right now. And if you don't have a finished product, why put out a trailer of stuff that's not ready to see? It's like, it's like when a baby's born. It's like, yeah, it's not ready. It's not ready to be looked at yet. it's, but no, it's why are you putting out unfinished product for people to judge on? Because all that's doing is hurting you.
Yeah. And then they get in the defensive mode where, oh, if you don't like it, that means it's your problem. You've done something wrong.
And it means whatever, blah blah blah. No, I don't like it because it looks like crap, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and oh god, the Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Did you see that?
I haven't.
God, it's so good. They make fun of Sonic in it.
It's been on in the house like 8 times.
They make fun of Sonic in it. Sonic is in it.
Everybody's in it, from what I understand.
Yeah, the Sonic is in it, and he has a booth, and they refer to him as Ugly Sonic because he's like signing autographs and trying to make money at conventions. It's so funny, man. Yeah, Ugly Sonic is definitely what She-Hulk looks like to me.
I actually am.
Man.
I'm encouraged by the format because instead of doing 6-hour-long episodes, they're doing 9 shorter episodes like they did with WandaVision.
Okay.
So I think that formatting is going to give us kind of something that's going to be a little easier to digest.
Yeah,
because
I like that. I like that more.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot going on with it, and they had a lot going on with WandaVision.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why they did that, because there was just so much happening in that show, and from the sounds of things, that's what's going on with this one.
And you know what? I'm thinking about Moon Knight now, and I'm wondering if I would have liked it more if, what was it, 6 episodes?
Right.
If it wasn't like 6 long episodes and it was like 8 30-minute episodes. Because I got bored during that show, man. I was just like, oh my god, would you quit blacking out and coming back and get to the point?
Well, I think a big problem that they're having with Disney Plus is they're trying to transition from these great cinematic movies like Endgame and move on to this new medium in television, because it's basically a TV show,
which is smaller,
which traditionally has been smaller scale, but you can still do big. You can still do multi-million-dollar budget and all that.
Right.
But the problem is they're taking your 3-act play that you get done in a 2.5-hour movie, and now they're making it
8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Or 6 hours in the case of Moon Knight or Miss Marvel. And not many people can keep up with that type of pacing and keep it interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to do. An 8-hour movie is like, an 8-hour movie is like, my God, what was the 8-hour movie that I watched last? Oh, Lord of the Rings. No. I think that's my phone.
I think pacing is very much I think that's the downfall of the Disney Plus stuff right now.
Yeah, I think it's true.
If you look at what made the Netflix Marvel stuff really work, is they had, what were they, 12 or 13 episodes, so they were long seasons.
Yeah.
But they had an overarching thing, one big bad for the whole thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Typically they had 2 stories.
Right, multiple stories.
Yeah,
like enough to fill.
They had subplots. They had other characters.
So you had
characters.
Throwaway episodes that really had nothing to do with anything else that's going on.
Right.
But gave you some character development and kind of a side quest type thing. So and that's how TV's been for 100 years.
Yeah, forever.
And
I think you're right. I think the pacing was definitely an issue. The pacing was an issue with Moon Knight for me, and Ethan Hawke was the other issue.
Right.
I thought Oscar Isaac was great. I thought the story was kind of interesting. I just don't think they handled it correctly. Again, my opinion, whatever. And I liked WandaVision because there was that darkness underneath,
Right.
but it was a fun sitcom. And I enjoyed seeing what sitcoms and like what shows they were doing a parody of or a tribute of or whatever you want to call it. During that, I really enjoyed seeing that, being like, oh yeah, man, this is cool, man. Oh yeah, it's Leave It to Beaver. Oh yeah, it's Dick Van Dyke Show. Oh yeah, whatever.
I really like the way that they kept it grounded in the MCU with the stuff that was outside of the town.
Yeah.
I think that was a brilliant move,
Mhm.
and using the characters that they use, because we all love Darcy. Everybody loves Darcy. Anytime to get her on screen is just an A plus.
Everybody loves Darcy. No, so that I think the things I'm liking right now, though, very much are kind of the different takes on the traditional stuff. Like The Boys, Invincible. I'm looking forward to 8 Billion Genies. Um, a lot of things like that. Because we've had so much superhero stuff,
Right.
like traditional superhero stuff. And that's part of what I liked a lot about the Phase 4 of Marvel. Not everything worked. I'm first to admit that. In my opinion, not everything worked. But there's some things that worked really well. And even though I didn't like Moon Knight, I really applaud the fact that it was a change of pace. It was something different. Um, and then there's those kind of second tier ones, like Runaways and things like that, and Legion, and that stuff, which almost seems like Agents of Shield. I guess they almost seem like the CW Marvel.
Right.
And they were, Runaways was kind of fun for a little bit, and then I was like, okay,
I forgot that one even existed.
yeah, right. Legion, I thought the first series was great. The second series made me tired, or the second season made me tired. I didn't finish it. I was like, all right, whatever. They just, it's almost like they tried to get too weird in the second season, but the first season was really cool. I liked it a lot.
I'm really excited to see what HBO is going to do with this new Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Because that's one that's got potential to be really good, but it's got more potential to be really bad. So it's tough. It's really tough.
That's on the Moon Knight fence with me. It could be either great or terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think there's probably not going to be a lot in between with that.
Yeah.
But it looks different. I'm not really a Green Lantern fan. Never really have been. Haven't really cared about that character much. But Guy Gardner is my Green Lantern because, you and West Coast Avengers, I was reading Justice League in the '80s.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
I'm a Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Or not John.
Guy's my guy. And then Kilowog is second. And then Kyle Rayner. So
now,
3 of the most unpopular Green Lanterns.
Well, what's his name?
Kilowog.
He's supposed to be in this show.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Guy Gardner's in it.
I can't remember her name from the latest Green Lantern series.
Oh, from
Far Sector.
Far Sector, yeah.
Yeah, she's supposed to be in it.
I like her too. Actually, I read that series. It was good.
I've read parts of it, and I think it was really well written and an interesting character. It was kind of like Detective Comics in space.
It was.
And
I was going to say it's an interstellar murder mystery.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked it, and I like when they do different stuff like that. Hal Jordan to me is just kind of boring.
Yeah,
he's Superman with a ring. He's
like, I
look
said
how
Hal
cool
Jordan. I meant John Stewart.
Oh, okay.
I like John Stewart. But that's, man, if we could get Idris Elba as John Stewart, that would be,
oh my god,
that would be phenomenal. Like, he'd be killer in that.
Oh, he'd be amazing. He'd be so handsome, so good. So he'd be he'd an editor, right?
Yeah.
No, he'd be awesome. He'd be great.
I got a little man crush on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool dude.
This just popped into my mind, kind of an interesting thought. So, I don't think that a superhero parody like The Boys or even Brightburn, which I
Mhm.
absolutely
Love
love.
that movie.
I love
Yeah.
Brightburn. I don't think that those type of shows could have been made prior to the MCU.
Oh no, nobody would have taken a chance on any of that.
I think we're in a position now that these movies have brought our comic book heroes to the forefront to the point that they're so ingrained in popular culture
Yeah.
that people who aren't reading comic books, everybody knows who Captain America is, what he's about.
Hmm.
Like they really know Superman. So when you combine those two into a Homelander,
Oh yeah.
like people get it.
Well, and Brightburn is my favorite Superman movie.
Oh yeah,
It's like Incredibles is my favorite Fantastic Four movie. It's like they take
right,
those archetypes and just run and do different crazy
right.
awesome things with it, and it's enjoyable, man. It's a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, boy, there's a lot of hate for Brightburn. People
I
hated
love
that
that
thing.
movie. Well, I'm really disappointed because I don't know who did Brightburn, um, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was sanctioned. I thought that Warner was like, yeah, let's do
Oh,
this.
really? No.
But no, no.
Wasn't that
Um,
James Gunn that did it?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm really disappointed because I found out that they had others planned. There was a Wonder Woman, an Aquaman, and a Batman planned,
Oh, jeez.
and they never did anything with
To see the deep on I mean Aquaman on. Let's see who did that. Who did that? No, it was Darren Yarovesky. Oh, produced by James Gunn. That's why I
Oh,
thought
okay.
that. Okay. Yeah, he did Night Books, The Hive, Child, and a lot of other things that I've never seen. Um,
But
but
that's one of my
yeah.
favorite superhero movies
Oh,
I've
God, it was
ever
great.
seen.
It was awesome, man. I love when he just like loses it and just goes, man. It's so cool. And no, there's a lot of boy, a lot of superhero stuff right now, and it's
Yeah,
not very much in the. I mean, there's a lot in the theaters. Those are the big releases. Um, Thor, and then Doctor Strange, but man, I'm finding like most of the stuff is going on to TV.
I think that's the new normal.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to see. And a lot of people are coming down on Phase 4 and where they're going with Phase 4, Phase 5, or whatever phase
Mm-hmm.
we're in. But I think it makes sense. I think we started with Iron Man, which was an okay movie. It's very important in the fact that it helped us jumpstart the superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
But
I still love that though. Still thought it was great.
Iron Man 2 was a slump. Iron Man 3 was a slump. A lot of those early ones, the Hulk movies, were not real great.
I would disagree with you with the Iron Man movies.
Really, I I
I
think two
thought
and three
I thought
were.
two was the weakest. I thought three was almost as good as one.
I,
I
I,
mean,
I well,
the weakness with two was Mickey Rourke.
but if you compare Iron Man with Winter Soldier
Hmm.
or Civil War, those type of movies, it it really I don't think it holds up.
Well, I mean, but that's like comparing the first chapter of the book to the middle of the book.
Right,
You know,
right,
it's
and
and I
that's
mean, and I agree with those two movies were like those were great films.
right.
Iron Man, the Iron Man movies were great movies.
Yeah,
They're fun, goofy entertainment, whatever. But those Captain America, those two, like Captain America 2 and 3, were like fantastic films. They were
right.
so good, man. And I think they transgressed into something else, kind of like Dark Knight did. Dark Knight was when I did the Q&A after the Batman screening last week. Um, I said something I could actually heard people gasp. I was like, yeah, the Batman was the best Batman movie since the first Batman. And they were like, what? Oh. And Doug Fabrizio was like, Elaborate on that, because that's how Doug Fabrizio talks. He's a really nice guy, and he talks like this. Um, but I did elaborate on it, and my what I said was like Batman in 1989 was a great Batman movie.
Right.
The second one was a great Batman villain movie, and it was a darker movie, and it was really fun. And it wasn't so much of a Batman movie, but it was just all these crazy villains all over the place, you know. And then the other two were crap. And then Batman Begins was a great Bruce Wayne movie,
Right.
and Dark Knight was a great Joker movie. It was a crime movie. It was a caper, a heist movie. Dark Knight Rises, I think, was the first Batman movie that Christopher Nolan made, and it was a mess.
Right.
I think he's much better concentrating on other portions of the Batman mythos besides Batman. And then the Batman, again, all the DC movies that begin with the, I really enjoyed. That was a detective movie. That's the first time Batman's ever been a damn detective.
I think the Batman was, in my opinion, that's the best Batman movie.
It was probably
been made.
I think it was the truest.
I
Batman
think it's,
movie.
and I think
It was
what
actually
happens.
Batman.
I think what happens is we are not, and certainly you are not, a casual Batman viewer.
Mm.
You are the Batman expert. Out of everybody I know, all my friends and everybody that's into comics, you've read everything, you've dissected that character,
Mhm.
those auxiliary characters, you live in that Batman world.
I've got Batman on my back, man.
So, and if you look at it through that lens, somebody like us is going to gravitate towards the Batman more than they are the Nolan stuff.
I think it's the purest Batman movie.
It certainly is.
I mean, it's Batman, and a lot of people think that this one was a little too dark, and I can see how people would think that for sure.
Right.
And it was pretty. It was very violent. There's not a lot of hope in it. It was not a hopeful film. It was not a feel good movie. Um, and I think all those different movies, they're kind of a product of their times, and they reflect when they were made.
Right.
I mean, obviously the '60s stuff was like, hey, swinging '60s baby.
Right.
The '80s Batman stuff was when it was starting to get darker, but it was still fun, and there was a lot of like kind of wink, wink, nod, nods in there. You start getting into the 2000s, it's a different world.
Right.
Um, you've got Christopher Nolan stuff. You've got terrorists. You got you know ineffective police forces. You've
Right.
got
Well, it was
you know
very much a Dark Knight
yeah
era Batman.
yeah, it was, yeah. And
I mean, it didn't look like Dark Knight, but it definitely felt like.
and it succeeded in that
Dark
in
Knight.
some areas and not in others. But I mean, this one is it's a the right now the world is dark and frustrated.
Right.
There's not a lot of hope. And this the Batman was a great detective movie. It was a great superhero movie. I still don't fully agree with Bondage Riddler. That was weird, but he was really good.
Right.
And I keep calling him Paul Diano because that's the singer for Iron Maiden. That is not Paul Dano, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that was a weird choice to make him all, like the Gimp in Pulp Fiction with question marks all over him. That was kind of odd, you know. Um, but I think it, they found a way to make it work, and I think that's because of Matt Reeves because he's a really good director. Um, and he was able to make that work. The only thing I've ever seen with that I was like, oh, that's cool, was the Joker movie.
That's what I was about to say. I thought that was a very cool part of that movie
because he wasn't a main character. He just popped in there, and the Joker, if it was the Joker, a Joker. I mean, and I don't even know. I mean, I'd love to see a Batman movie like a sequel to The Batman with Joaquin Phoenix's character very old, and then this character they talked to in the Batman the Joker, the Silence of the
Right.
Lambs Joker, which I
Right.
love that scene. That
Yeah.
was so cool. But I mean, I would like to see that Joker say, "Oh, I am the Joker now. I took inspiration from this crazy guy when you were a kid that was running around doing all this crap on TV that killed Robert De Niro." Spoiler. And I'd like to see him just be like, "Oh, that was a Joker in the past. I took inspiration from him." 20 years ago. I think that'd be cool.
I don't know if pop culture is ready for the Joker mythology. That we like we're groomed in it over the past 30 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the casual Batman viewer is ready for that mythology where there's three different Jokers.
Well,
and
no, I mean, I don't want that. Even though Three Jokers, I thought was a pretty good book.
Yeah,
actually.
brilliant.
I have my doubts about that. That was just dumb when I heard that, and I read it. It was actually really good.
Yeah, I think they pulled it off real well.
They did. I was very surprised.
But it would be cool to have that. So, I mean, Jared Leto's Joker. I don't care if I ever see Jared Leto's Joker again.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly. So, but if you had Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson, and this new Joker, like to me, that would be those are your three defined eras of that character, and I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, I don't see a need to complicate it with Nicholson though, because and as much as I loved him in the Joker, he was Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, playing Jack Nicholson playing the Joker.
But that was such that was the perfect Joker
for the time. That was perfect. Yes, yeah. I don't think it's perfect anymore though.
But Cesar Romero, I mean, he was perfect for the time as well. I mean, you can say nothing illustrates, I think, the changing times and the change in the comic books
like the Joker character.
Well, Batman in general.
Oh yeah.
Like they all the Robins were exactly what they needed to be for those times.
Yeah, that's very true. I would like to see that in future Batman stuff. I think that'd be a really cool way to tie them in because and I mean I think DC's problem right now is they've got so many different versions of so many different things. And I think they need I think that they need to just sit in a room together like Marvel does. Figure out what the best versions of this is, tie those in, and just make that the DC universe, man. They need to get rid of the Snyder crap.
Yeah. Do a 3-hour crisis show and bring the best of the best in.
Right.
Well, the problem DC is having, I mean, it's exactly what you said. The best thing that they put out, if you just go for TV, the best TV series that they put out in the last probably ever was Swamp Thing, and they canceled that at the end of season 1 because after the first episode, AT&T, who had just bought them, was like, "Yeah, that's a little too dark for us."
Well, and also it was very expensive.
I don't understand why they don't listen to the fans. Like we know what we want to see. We want to see Constantine.
Yeah,
make Constantine. It's pretty. I don't necessarily want to see Keanu Reeves as Constantine, but if that's all I'm stuck with, he said he'd do it again.
Can we please have Tim Roth?
That would be so awesome.
That's always been my dream. Constantine.
He would be
Tim Roth.
He would be perfect.
Yeah, and, he's a sarcastic, kind of smug, if he wants to be, but also charming and also a little off and a little, I mean, he'd always been the one I'd love to see, and they could do it now. I mean, he could still do it like an older Constantine, and Constantine in the comics, unless it was a flashback story, he's never like, a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
He's always in his, 40s, maybe 50, I mean, he was always an older guy. And especially like when they put him in Deceased and, all that kind of stuff, he's like, what, 60 or, he's older. And I mean, God, they could still do it. Yeah, they could still totally do that, man.
Justice League Dark.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I want to see that or not, because I don't really like Constantine in the DC universe. But if they have to put him in, then yeah, do something like that. So, but Justice League Dark, they'd hire Zack Snyder to do it. or they'd make another directing and writing mistake with it. And it would just be everybody's grumpy and they fight and they, and the characterization wouldn't be right.
I'm a Snyder Cut fan. If you cut off the end
4 hours.
credit scenes, if you cut off all the end credit scenes,
How many were there? I never saw the Snyder Cut.
Just all that apocalypse world,
Wow. Yeah.
Joker, Batman stuff. There's no point.
No. And it's not even the Snyder Cut. It's all refilmed, or not all of it, but a bunch of it was just refilmed.
Yeah.
And added. It's not his cut. It's his cut was what they did in the first place, man. What he did in the first place, and they didn't use that footage. They reshot it.
Yeah.
And they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars to do this stuff again, to make a longer Justice League movie with the characters that I didn't like in the first place. I don't want to see more of them.
It was great. I thought it was great.
I'll take your word for it. I don't think I need to see it.
I really like the way that they expanded on Cyborg. I don't think he should have been in the Justice League to begin with.
No, he shouldn't.
That's not a character that I would have put in the Justice League.
He should have been in the Titans show.
But yeah. But I mean, if I were doing Justice League, I would do Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, the same ones that they have. Aquaman, I'll give you Aquaman. He was kind of pointless in Justice League, but
I like his
Jason
Aquaman
Momoa,
either.
so let's put Jason Momoa in there. But let's get rid of the Flash and Cyborg, and bring in the Arrow and Flash from the CW.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been an outstanding movie.
Yeah, I mean, even though I don't particularly like the Arrow show, I think he's actually pretty good.
The Arrow show was probably one of the best Bruce Wayne shows that they've ever made.
Yeah, that was a good Batman show.
They developed a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that was a good Batman show, and that's probably why I didn't like it.
He was not a great Batman, but
I didn't want. Yeah, see, I didn't want that. I wanted Green Arrow that I know and love, and Ollie with the blonde hair and the weird little mustache, and the hood, and living in Seattle, and I want the Mike Grell stuff.
Yeah.
And I just unfortunately did not get it. So. Yeah.
All right. So I think we're going to need to wrap this up. I'm already going to have to cut off like 45 minutes here.
Where do we? We're at 7 hours already. We've been doing this since last Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Where y'all been?
Yeah.
So obviously a lot to talk about when you start talking about movies and especially comic book movies. And I know that it's something that the viewers want to see. So we'll probably do, we might do a couple more and give some thoughts and bring some other people in to discuss them. So.
Yeah. Be fun.
All right. So remember, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click the little bell down at the bottom. And we'll see you later, traders.